to Sport Africa, wherever you are across the face of the earth. Welcome once again. This is where we discuss all things football and all the biggest football sporting story generally on the continent of Africa. Welcome once again. My name remains Ashaolulu Afemi. How are you doing? How was your weekend? It's the beginning of another week, and I pray that God will make all your plans, bear positive fruit this week. James Iberebi is here. James, nice to see you once again. You're welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you very much. Hope you are looking.
All right. All right. Okay. So there is no other better place to start today than to start in Nigeria, where though it's still speculation, though the Nigeria Football Federation have not come out to actually confirm or debunk it, but it seems the Super Eagles finally have for themselves a coach and the person of Swedish, of course, Olof Janne Andersson. Yeah. And this morning, that has particularly dominated football stories in the country. James, let's talk about this. A lot of people have said, regardless of a coach now, imagine for the Super Eagles, it still doesn't take away the fact that the NFF has actually failed. But that is another talk for another day. But let's look at the choice of this candidate for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, 61 of Swedish nationality, and quickly his profile. He qualified Sweden to the 2018 FIFA World Cup as well as the 2020 Euros. Then he failed to qualify them for the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar as well as the 2024 Euro. James, they said a coach is as good as the last resort. If you are to look at this, would you even agree that perhaps he's going to be the best coach for the Super Eagles? Some people are saying they remember the times of Lars Lagerbäck, that he actually took the Super Eagles backward. Now, this is another Swedish who has failed to qualify the national team in that country to the last global footballing competition in the last two editions. What would you say about this, James? 2022, he didn't qualify Sweden to the World Cup, and this 2024 Euros, Sweden were also not there under him, and the NFF has pushed him for the Super Eagles. What is your take on this?
Well, Tori said we are as good as the last game, no, but we've seen coaches who were sacked, and at the end of the day, they were still able to get a job. Mourinho was sacked at AS Roma, got a job at Fenerbahce. So because the coach got sacked or failed to qualify his team for a tournament doesn't mean he's a bad coach. That's one thing about the coaching job. And sometimes that you do so well, you win things. There are sometimes that you'll not be able to achieve anything. It doesn't take away anything from such a coach. Even some of the best coaches around, they've had ups and downs. So talking about this Anderson that's been rumored to take over the Super Eagles. I go by what the experience we had with the former Swedish coach, that was Lars Lagerbäck. We want to see maybe it might not end well. Nobody can judge, use that to judge, because when Lars Lagerbäck came, it's like a rescue mission, and you don't expect him to perform magic. That team was already going south already. So for me, one thing to observe about Swedish coaches is they are decent coaches. No matter how you want to look at it, they are decent coaches. They might not win you the major tournament. They always have a way of bringing out the best. You see, one thing about their own teams is it's all about the collective, not about individuals. So for me, the fears will be there, because this is somebody who I don't think he has experience handling any African team before, and they know how he's going to go about it. That's if he's eventually appointed as Super Eagles coach, and it's about time. Let's just get this over and done with. The African qualifier is just around the corner. We're yet to have coach. So if the NFF feels this is somebody who they believe has what it takes to handle the Super Eagles, I think we just have to go ahead with it.
All right. Okay. Please, to our fans across the world, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Please kindly give us that support. Please click on that subscription button, and also you can also click on that notification button so that you get the video as soon as they drop. James, some people have also said that we shouldn't forget Thomas Denner before the Super Falcons, that it was nothing too far from a disaster. But James, let's look at this. Recently, a former assistant coach of the Super Eagles, Sibalos Opala, he came out to say that with 6 games to go, a coach who knows what he is doing can still qualify Nigeria for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. And he was actually marketing himself, saying that if the NFF gives him the job, that he would ensure that Nigeria qualifies for the World Cup. And he said that any coach that comes in now, particularly a foreign coach, and fails to qualify the country for the World Cup has failed and shouldn't blame Pesero or Finidi George for the first 4 matches. Would you agree with that school of thought that if someone like Anderson is eventually confirmed and he fails to qualify Nigeria for the World Cup, has failed? Would you agree, or will you still blame those who started the race in the first place?
Well, it's a tricky one because he was not there. He didn't start the. For me, he's coming. That if he gets, he's just coming in to salvage an already messy situation. And if eventually fails to qualify the team, I mean, you cannot blame him because the damage had already been done from the onset. They will play 4 games and will fail to even win one. And if he comes in and fails to win even one game, and if the new coach comes in now and eventually fails to qualify the team for the World Cup, we cannot blame him. I think if he gets appointed, what they do is just tie his appointment on the qualifiers. Use that to assess him. And if eventually he fails to deliver, then you just allow.
Sorry, James. You think any coach want to accept that? Do you think any reasonable coach want to accept that his fate with Nigeria will be tied to 6 matches, the remaining 6 matches?
It's about proving a point. I think if you want to give his all, and if you know that if you eventually qualify the team, I mean, you just have to now sit down and negotiate the contract. Remember, Goran Eriksson almost took the job of the Super Eagles. That's why the fact that team was not one of the best going to the World Cup. That was before the 2010 World Cup. He was so close to getting the job. He was somebody with pedigree. So there are coaches who they don't mind. They will just come in and try to prove a point, and if eventually things works out, fine. They go ahead with it. So for me, as it is now, we just have to look for a decent coach. Judging by what you read out from his record, I mean, this is somebody who has qualified for a major tournament before. I remember he handled the Swedish team that knocked out Italy in the playoff, if I'm not mistaken. So which means they have seen it, they have done it before. Because he failed to qualify for the last 2 major editions, doesn't take away anything from him. Like I said, we have coaches who have done so well before, and those who have had like somebody like Mourinho now. He was somebody who have won the Champions League before, won the Europa, won the Conference League. He got sacked. So that's one thing about this job. It's iron and firing. So for me, I won't blame anybody that comes in now and fails to deliver. I won't blame because the damage has already been done from the onset.
Okay. James, between you and I now, let's agree. Do you think this is about money? Do you think the NFF went for a coach that their money can actually pay for? Because, they were linked with someone like Javier Renard, and we know that the coaches like that who have pedigree, particularly in Africa, do not come cheap. Now, if you are going for Janne Andersson, would you say that NFL simply went for someone that is cheap or someone that they can afford and not a high-profile coach?
I don't think Anderson will come in cheap. Fine, command the highest fees, but I don't think it's going to. Is somebody who will come cheap and just accept whatever they throw at him. If you put it side by side with our local coaches, or even the Pesero that took Super Eagles to the World Cup, the AFCON final, I think if you want to judge looking at that in terms of national team achievement, you want to put Anderson ahead of any other coach who started this race. So not taking anything away from somebody like Pesero, because I always give him credit for making use of what he had and still getting to the final of the AFCON. So for me, he's not going to come cheap, but I don't think he's going to command a huge sum. I think he knows that the Super Eagles is a big brand, and he wants to try it and show what he can do, because who will not want to handle the Super Eagles, because there
Okay.
is a team made up of big players, and everybody wants to work with the big players. You look at somebody like Pesero. I don't think he has ever had such success in terms of a national team football. The Super Eagles, unfortunately, they couldn't win the AFCON, but I mean, they also what so for me, it's not. I don't really want to look at the money aspect. All I'm too focused on is how the team is going to do well and qualify for the World Cup. Because it's going to be very, very sad, and disappointing if the Super Eagles fail to qualify for the World Cup. It looks slim now, but
Back, yeah,
anything can
back to
still
back.
happen.
Yeah. Okay, James. African players have actually not made too many headlines in the transfer window currently going on. But let's look at Victor Osimhen. Last night we saw Napoli being hammered 3-0 by Loli Hellas Verona, and a lot of people are saying that Victor Osimhen's effect actually spoke loud. Would you say that Napoli will are missing someone like Osimhen, because actually the club has come out to say that he has handed a transfer request, he has requested to leave the club, and he's not going to. As a matter of fact, he didn't even play in any of their preseason friendly matches. But would you say that Napoli will miss Osimhen? Or let's even look at the fact that Lukaku coming in to replace him. Do you think Lukaku will be able to replace Osimhen as it were right now in Napoli?
Yeah, the thing is, Napoli, they have a history of signing top strikers. Remember the days of Cavani, Higuain, before Osimhen now came on board. So they have this rich history of getting good strikers. So I find in the immediate they're going to miss Osimhen because he has been so instrumental for them. He played a very huge role, and winning the Serie A title. He didn't just score goals; his goals contributed immensely in winning the league. So it's going to be a big miss. But I mean, if they eventually get Lukaku, I mean, Lukaku is not someone. It's not as if he's going to the Serie A for the first time. He's a Serie A champion. He has played for
But
some of the big.
what about age? He has faltered in recent years. You can actually say that it will be difficult for him to actually step into the shoes of Osimhen at Stadio Maradona.
Femi, there are so many players in the Serie A that are far older than Lukaku, and they are doing well. So that's one thing about the Serie A. You've seen players who play up to their 40s. Remember the likes of Maldini and Ibrahimovic. So it's not a pacey league, not a league that they just run around. I mean, it's more tactical, and this league that I think it has should be if this should be his if not third or fourth season if he eventually signs for Napoli. So for me, like I said, Osimhen is going to be a big miss, no doubt. But I want to believe that if they are able to get Lukaku, he should be able to, with his experience in the league, he should be able to, to fit in. I mean, this is a coach that he has worked with before, and you all know that Conte really wants him. And with the way they lost to Hellas Verona, I think it's going to hasten up any transfer that they are thinking of doing now, because I don't, I don't want to imagine them not signing a proven striker who, because it was so glaring that they missed the services of Osimhen, because I mean they were so flat against Hellas Verona. And to imagine that this is a former league champion who just went down so easily like that. So they're going to miss Osimhen, no doubt, but at least I want to believe that Lukaku is going to be a able replacement.
Okay. And finally, before we leave Osimhen, James, yesterday the club director Giovanni Mana said Osimhen may likely stay at the club if they do not find a solution, with Chelsea and with PSG. This is someone who has handed in a transfer request. He has said he doesn't want to play for the club anymore. And PSG have said they are not going to even add a single euro to the 80 million pounds, 80 million euros, I beg your pardon, that they've offered Napoli for him. Chelsea too are playing card over Lukaku and all that. But at this morning, they said Napoli are closing in on a deal for Lukaku, but Osimhen's case is a separate case. What do you think Osimhen should do at this time? Because at the end of the day, it seems like he might be the biggest loser. He's handed in a transfer request. He didn't play in any of their preseason games. What do you think he should do at this time, James?
So I mean, it's going to be between him and the club, its management team. They just have to look for a way out, because since he has dropped his transfer request, it shows that he wants to leave. But agreements must be made. Things you must finalize things before anything is done. You can't say, okay, fine,
Exactly.
because you want to leave, then you have to follow the due process. Clubs must agree, personal terms, all those things must be met before the transfer can materialize. So the good thing is, if eventually it doesn't, what's it called? It doesn't get to move. I mean, it's not as if it's a stranger to the team. We just have to. We've seen players who, after much noise and speculation, they end up staying back. So he's not going to be the first. But as it is, I don't think it's in Conte's plan. So, like I said, the defeat to Hellas Verona will really spur them on now to try and cut down on their asking price and allow him to go, because you don't want to disrupt the rhythm in the team, because the coach has made it clear that it's not in his plans. He has who he wants in his team, and you don't want a disruptive. You don't want things to start. You don't want to start having issues. For somebody who has not been part of your preseason, and because of the things, and you now have to force yourself to start using it, might cause issues. Not only for the coach and the player, even between the team and his teammates. Because his mind is no more there. So they just have to. The earlier they sort things out, the better
Okay.
for all parties.
Okay, all right. Let's go on this break. When we return, we'll be talking about the last segment of the show, where we'll talk about the performance of or the performances of Ghanaian clubs and of course Nigerian clubs in the playoff for the CAF and CAF Champions League and the CAF Confederations Cup. Please stay with us. Welcome back to the show. Of course, very soon, hopefully, we'll return to our regular programming right here because, of course, by possibly even before the end of the month, of course, various leagues across the continent of Africa will have resumed. Like in Nigeria, of course, by August 30th, hopefully, the MPFL should get back on track. James, let's talk about games that are played over the weekend. Of course, Nigerian and, of course, Ghanaian clubs, like I said, in the playoff for the Confederations Cup and the Champions League. Of course, Remo Stars to AS Absawa and James. I think as far as I'm concerned, Remo is out. We have just 4 minutes to do this, but of course, we still have to talk about it. James, as far as I'm concerned, like I said, Remo is out because if you are going to Morocco with just a slim 1-0 goal advantage, what defense do you really have? Remo, this is the second time. Last season, they got knocked out at this stage, and it's almost looking like it's going to rear its ugly head once again.
So I think for me, that you might want to look at the result like something that is not that bad, but because of their history, especially when it comes to traveling on the going away to play, especially against North African teams, that has not been so good for Nigerian teams. If you reverse this scenario, one thing about North Africa, even if they even if they come to you, even if they draw at home, they still have a way of doing the business away.
Coming back into the tie,
So
yeah.
for me, exactly. But our teams, especially this present times, they always want to. If at the end of the day they fail to get a wide margin at home, that they are as good as out of the tournament. So
Okay.
I think they're working on the tightrope. I don't just like what you said. I'm going to agree with you. I don't see them going past ES far in the turn leg. They need to get the away goal, and that's one vital thing for them. Even if the game had ended 2-0, I think it's still going to be very tough. But I remember there was a time Member took a 3-0 lead away, and they squandered the lead. But fortunately for them, they went on to win on penalties. So for me, it's a tight one for them, and I don't know how they're going to negotiate it. But maybe they can surprise us this time. But it's a very, 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 very slim chance for them progressing from this league.
Okay, all right. Of course, league champions, NPFL champions, Rangers. They recorded the 1-0 victory away to Azele Madrid. Then, of course, you have the President Federation Cup holders. I'm talking about Academy Warriors of Maiduguri. They drew at home against the Daje, and of course, the coach Azuberu is blaming that result on poor preseason. I don't know. You really actually want to blame? Is that a communication to have? I wouldn't know, but you just have yourself to blame. But James, as a wrap up, let's look at the performance of Samatex. Of course, their debut in the CAF Champions League and they recorded a 1-0 victory away to Victoria in Cameroon. That is something to cheer. Remember last season also how far Medima went in the competition. I think Ghanaian teams are actually proving their merit. Hopefully, Samatex will make it to the group phase of the Champions League as well.
Yeah, hopefully they do not allow this first leg to get into their heads. I think I remember Medema when they played against Zamalek. I think they got a good result away, then they lost it at home. You know,
They
so I
missed
hope
out.
they'll not
Yeah.
go. Yes, so I don't want to believe they'll go that through that line. You know, it's still an open tie. 1-0 victory away from home, especially when you're playing in Africa. You know, but I think they're taking a leaf from Medema. I think it goes to show that there are other teams in the Ghanaian league who can hold their own, not the out of folk Ashanti for all the time. I think other clubs too that are stepping up and see how things pans out. Hopefully, they're able to scale this hurdle and move on to the group stage. You know, it's a good one for them, and I wish them all the best.
Okay, all right. We'll get our fingers crossed. All the return legs will be played next week for him, but of course they have a bye into the second round of the CAF Confederation Cup. Remember, they finished third in the NPFL last season. James Agbrede, thank you so much for your thoughts on the show today. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So, too, of course, to our fans and supporters across the world, thank you so much for keeping faith with Sport Africa. Like we told you, hopefully very soon we'll get back to a regular programming right here when all the leagues across Africa must have resumed. Like I said, Nigeria, by the end of this month, the MPFL will get back to playing matches. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Please support us. Like we've said several times, the comment section is all yours. Please, whatever you think we need to do to improve what to do right here, please put it in the comment section. We'll see you all next time by God's grace. I remain Asholula. Have a fantastic week ahead. Bye for now.